My name is Gavin Evans, and this is my ranking of Illumination movies from worst to best. And this video will have spoilers, so there's your warning. But I don't like Illumination Studios. I just don't. So many of their movies just suck. And even the movies I do like here, I'm kinda meh on. Like, there's only one movie that they've ever made which I've actually loved. But somehow they keep making money. All of their movies are big box office successes, so they'll continue to make movies for years to come, and I still want to talk about and rank each one of their movies. So let's begin with their worst one, and it's The Secret Lives of Pets 2. Now, I should say that I haven't watched or reviewed these movies in over a year, but I just remember having the worst time with this movie. I thought it was bland and generic and boring. I didn't care for any of the characters, and they had a really weird plot. Well, they treat Max like the parent of this human child, and it's just really weird and off putting, and I just despised this movie. So that's why it's rock bottom. The second worst Illumination movie is The Secret Lives of Pets. I just found this movie to be painfully generic. It is just Toy Story if Toy Story was bad. I never care for any of these characters, it's never funny or entertaining, and it's just a real drag to get through. I actually think these two movies are some of the worst animated movies ever made. The third worst Illumination movie is the one that kind of sticks out like a sore thumb, and it's Hop. Because this movie really isn't animated. It's a live action hybrid, but it sucks. It's a really ugly movie to look at. The CGI is just an utter disaster. The movie is never funny. It's annoying. I never care for any of the characters, and it just really sucks. And it really bums me out because this is the most Easter movie to ever be made, and I'm just saying Easter deserves better. The fourth worst Illumination movie is The Grinch. And I will give this movie some credit. I do really like the music by Danny Elfman, but I just found this one to be a miserable watch. Like, Benedict Cumberbatch is so miscast as the Grinch, and his meanness just feels so forced. This never feels like an actual character for a single second, and they just took this classic story and ruined it here. I never cared about anything going on. I never cared for any of the characters. It lacks any heart. It's never funny. They just turned this movie into this classic story into an Illuminations movie. It felt like Green Despicable Me, and I don't like that. I hate this movie. Easily the worst Grinch movie. The fifth worst Illumination movie is Sing. And this movie is just as generic as they come. Like, it is so painfully cliche. Well, nothing that happens has any meaning. None of the characters feel like characters because it just feels like this movie is going through the motions. You've got a talented voice cast, but nobody really stands out here. The movie is never funny, and I believe this movie is like 2 hours. Hold on, let me actually verify that. It's almost 2 hours. Way, way, way too long. The only redeeming part is the Scarlett Johansson song, Set It All Free, actually does work. And I do like Taron Egerton's cover of I'm Still Standing. I actually think it got him the role of Elton John in Rocket Man. So those two scenes are great. The rest of the movie is painful. The sixth worst elimination movie is Despicable Me 4. And we are now 4 movies into this franchise. And it's so weird because Gru and Lucy had a baby, but the other girls are still the same age. And that right there just really throws me off because, like, some characters age, but not all. So now it just feels like this weird vacuum where there's no consistency in the rules or logic, and it makes for a very uninteresting movie because I've seen Gru's dynamic with these 3 girls for 4 movies at this point. You have to do something new eventually, and this franchise just refuses to. If they were now teenagers or young adults, it could add a whole new great dynamic, but I'm just baffled by the decisions made here. I also don't really like Will Ferrell's villain character. This franchise, I'll talk more about this later on, but he turns people into bugs, but it's so sanitized and so kid-friendly, well, it just lacks any bit of an edge. And yeah, I do like the ending of this movie though, where they sing Everybody Wants to Rule the World. It's a nice note for this movie to end on, and the Minion stuff is funny, so it's not at the bottom, but I'm just tired of this franchise. And speaking of which, the 7th worst movie of theirs is Despicable Me 3. Same thing, just the characters don't age. It just makes it feel like every movie is the exact same. They add Gru's brother here, Drew, who I just found to be so annoying. But the Minions in prison is a really funny subplot. And the villain is kind of entertaining here. Like, he's kind of obsessed with auto music, and yeah, so it still kind of sucks, but it has a few redeeming qualities. The 8th worst elimination movie is Migration. And I will say this. This movie is so generic and boring and not funny, and I really don't care for it at all. But the music by John Powell is fantastic. It actually does manage to add some emotion to this movie, and I do like the villain chef character. The rest sucks, but those 2 aspects really do elevate this movie. The next worst elimination movie is Sing 2. And this movie is more of the same. It's too long. I don't care for the story. I don't care for these characters. The animation is kind of blah. But the last act of this movie actually is pretty decent. It does kind of feel like a celebration of music, and I did kind of enjoy it. The rest of the movie still sucks, but it ends on a strong enough note. And okay, so that is the dividing line. All the movies I mention from now on, I'm somewhat positive on. So movie number 7 is Minions Rise of Gru, and it's exactly what you'd expect from this movie. It's the Minions doing Minions things, and it's funny enough. It's nothing great. I kind of forget everything about this movie, but it's amusing. Movie number 6 is also Minions, which once again is just funny enough. It's entertaining enough. There's nothing great here, but and I don't feel like the Minions should have gotten their own movies. You know, like they're better off as side characters, but they're still entertaining. So yeah, that's why Minions is number 6. Number 5 is Despicable Me 2. And I do think this movie has funny moments. I do kind of like the Moss setting here. I do like the villain. But once again, it's just a sequel. Well, it's more of the same. The characters don't age up, so Gru's dynamic with them just feels the same. The only real addition here is the romance of Lucy and Gru, and it's fine enough, but I don't know, I just wish they put more effort into making these movies an actual franchise. And I wish they built off the previous one a bit better. And I know these are kids' movies, but holy shit, they don't have any sort of an edge whatsoever. Like, the minions mutate into these purple minions, but it just feels so sanitized and so kid-friendly. Well, I just kinda hate it. You know, I'm not asking for Resident Evil, I'm not asking for Akira, but one of my favorite movies ever is Aladdin. And when Jafar turns into a snake, it's still kid-friendly, but it's also scary. And I just feel like these movies are very cowardly. I still enjoy it enough, but Movie number 4. Okay, so I did rewatch this movie just a couple hours ago, and it's Super Mario Bros. Now, I know I gave it a bad review in 2023. I know in my review for the Super Mario Galaxy movie, I said I didn't care for this movie, but on a rewatch, I do feel like I was a little too harsh. I still don't care for the origins of these characters. I still wish I cared about these characters more. I still don't get the hype for Peaches. The song, not the character. And I don't know, the script is lacking. But there is enough entertainment to be had. I do like the world building. I do like how it actually tries to capture the spirit of the games in moments. And the animation is so beautiful. The environments are brought to life so incredibly well. It's bright, it's colorful, it's vibrant, and some of the action does entertain. Not a home run, definitely flawed, but I'll admit, I've been maybe a little too harsh on it. And the third best Illumination movie is The Lorax. And look, I don't really care for the Taylor Swift Zac Efron plot. The humor kind of falls flat and it can drag, but I do like the story being told. I do think this movie has a good message. I like the music by John Powell, and some of the songs are really great. You know, it's a Sneedville, a do 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 do. It's good. I really like that song. I also like, oh, what's it called? Do 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 do. I don't know. It's a song sung by the Once-Law. Why am I drawing a blank on the song? I have to look this up now. I also love Let It Grow, do 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 do. How Bad Can I Be is the other one I was thinking of. But no, the final act of this movie is so thrilling and exciting and emotional. You know, when he plants the tree and everybody's singing Let It Grow, and then it cuts to the Once-Law and the Lorax reuniting, it actually hits me in the feels. There is some nice emotion present, so despite its obvious flaws, I do quite enjoy this movie. The second best Illumination movie is the Super Mario Galaxy movie, and I can't believe the hate this movie is receiving. Like, I saw a review where a guy was talking about stabbing his hands because it was so bad. Like, what are you talking about? Okay, it is too fast-paced. It is. I still don't really care for these characters. And when I talk about the story, it's very, and then this happens. You know, Princess Peach goes on an adventure with the star, and then Mario and Luigi's are running the castle. They get attacked by Bowser Jr. They fall on this planet. They escape, and then they're there. And it's very, and then this happens, and then this happens. I do wish they cared more about the script, but I actually like Bowser much more in this movie. How he actually seems kind of redeemed at the beginning, but his character arc is he becomes bad again at the end. That's actually a clever subversion of expectations. And I do really like Glenn Powell as Fox McCloud. He just had this slickness and this coolness I really appreciated. And this movie just looks stunning. The animation is unbelievably great. Every environment is brought to life so incredibly well, whether it's the Mushroom Kingdom, or Bowser's Planet with the amusement park, or the water planet we see for a few seconds, or the casino section, or the dinosaur planet. This movie just looks incredible. And it does do some cool stylistic things, like when Bowser is telling the story with puppets, and the end credits look so good. And I also like the intro to Fox McCloud's character and how it's kind of anime inspired, it seems. I like that section with Mario and Peach in the dungeon. That scene is really cool. And I don't know, it was just a movie I was entertained by. There's less needle drops in this movie, which I really did appreciate, and it relies more on the score by Brian Taylor, and it's a great score, so I had a pretty decent time with this movie. Still flawed, but still enjoyable. But my favorite Illumination movie is easily Despicable Me. It's the only movie here I actually love. This movie, first of all, has a really fun premise of a villain wanting to steal the moon, but he's competing against this other villain, and then he ends up raising these 3 girls. Like, it's got a lot going on, but it always feels focused. The girls add a nice, heartfelt element to this movie. The villain aspect is very over the top and entertaining and funny. And we've got the introduction to the minions here, which have become iconic since. They're all really funny side characters, and I just feel like this movie set up this franchise so perfectly. And the last act, where the moon is getting bigger and bigger, it's actually tense, but it's also really silly at the same time. So yeah, I do love this movie. It was a great movie back in 2010, and it's a movie that has stood the test of time. It's Illumination's best, and I wish their other movies were on this level of quality. So that's why it's number 1. But what's your ranking of Illumination movies? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe. Stay tuned for more videos soon. And Gavin out.